A transfer window is by itself a most anticipated event. Year after year, football clubs and their fans alike can't wait for it to start, so it offers a much-needed opportunity to sign new players and get rid of deadwood. As a result, not only it helps clubs strengthen their squads, but also provides them with a chance to earn money. Today, we would like to tell you about the biggest transfer signings of the last decade, as we analyze their impact both on the clubs and the players' careers. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and get ready for watching, as you're about to learn about the transfer fever, how it affects all the football world and makes the biggest headlines. But first, try to answer this question. Which one of these footballers cost Real Madrid the least? Figo, Ronaldo, Zidane, Beckham? Feel free to leave your answers in the comments. And now, we begin. The 2013-14 season, Gareth Bale to Real Madrid for €101 million. Gareth Bale's move from Tottenham to Real Madrid was by far the biggest signing of summer 2013. The Welshman, already considered a Premier League star, cost Real Madrid about €100 million, thus setting a new transfer record. Before joining Los Blancos, Gareth Bale has made a name for himself at Tottenham Hotspur, where he spent 6 years from 2007 to 2013 and turned from a young talent to a world-class player. His pace, technique and powerful shots made him one of the deadliest left wingers in football. In his last Premier League season, Gareth Bale was named Player of the Year, as he also won the PFA Young Player of the Year award with his 40 goal contributions in 44 appearances and overall brilliant performance for Tottenham. Bale's move to Madrid caused quite a stir, as the weight of expectations was enormous. Gareth did meet many of them, we must admit. While at Real Madrid, he won 5 Champions League titles and 3 La Liga trophies, as well as other silverware. His late goal against Atletico won the Champions League for Los Blancos in 2014, and then in 2018 Bale did it again, as he scored a brace against Liverpool. His biggest problem throughout his Madrid spell was his injury proneness, which made Gareth miss too many big games. What he's done here has been phenomenal. You can't dispute that, because he's won a lot and shown his quality. He hasn't been at his best probably, but there were reasons for that. And I'm not concerned with the rumors that say I'm the reason he's leaving. It's not true, said the former Real Madrid head coach Zinedine Zidane. However, Gareth Bale's move to Real Madrid is going to be remembered for many trophies and happy moments it brought both to Real Madrid fans and Gareth himself, even though his last years at the club were marked with his newfound motto, Wales, Golf, Madrid, in that order. Gareth made 258 appearances for Los Blancos and made 173 goal contributions. Last year, he finally hung up his boots, so that now the Welshman must be happy to have more time to spend playing his favorite game, that is golf. The 2014-15 season, Luis Suarez to Barcelona for €81,720,000. The Uruguayan's move from Liverpool to Barcelona in 2014 was a most memorable event for all the football world, as the Blaugrana got themselves one of the most prolific strikers for about €80 million. Before joining Barca, Luis Suarez had played for Liverpool from 2011 to 2014 and won the hearts of Liverpool supporters with his goals and tireless play style. In the 13-14 season, Luis scored 31 goals in 33 Premier League matches, which made him the best scorer in the league, while Liverpool finished second, only 2 points behind the champions Manchester City. What made that signing particularly interesting is the Uruguayan skill set that made a perfect addition to Lionel Messi and Neymar's talents. So before long, one of the deadliest attacking trios in the history of football was formed: Messi, Neymar and Suarez, the MSN. Suarez gave us a few doubts at first. The uncertainty you have when you sign a player is just that, even if he is world-class. You have to get used to a team, your teammates, the city. It can be difficult. His adaptation has been meteoric, Luis Enrique admitted. Now it's safe to say that Luis did live up to the expectations. With him as a striker, Barca won the Champions League, 4 La Liga titles, 4 Copa del Rey finals and many other trophies. His link with Messi and Neymar was outright majestic, while his goals and assists won a number of big games for Barca. All in all, there were 195 goals in 283 appearances from the Uruguayan, which made him third best ever Barca goalscorer. His story at Barcelona deserved a much better ending, but Luis Suarez was shown the door as the club didn't need him anymore. Nevertheless, the Uruguayan's move to Barcelona was one of the most successful and memorable deals in football, as the Blaugrana fans are going to miss the MSN times for years to come. The 2015-16 season, Kevin De Bruyne to Manchester City for €76 million. Kevin De Bruyne, leaving Wolfsburg to join Manchester City, was a deal of huge significance back in August 2015. The Belgian generation talent cost the citizens about €76 million, which made him the biggest ever signing for Manchester City at that time. Before joining City, De Bruyne had played for the German side Wolfsburg from 2014 to 2015. Though he didn't spend that much time at the club, Kevin did become the key player for the team, which won the German Super Cup and finished second in the Bundesliga. Kevin, in turn, was the best Bundesliga assist provider in the 14-15 season, with 21 assists to his name. In the end, that was a most beneficial deal for both sides, as City got themselves a midfield orchestrator who later evolved into one of the brightest Premier League stars. His immense creativity, pinpoint passing, stunning long shots and free kicks made him not only a City leading midfielder, but also one of the best playmakers of our time. While playing for Manchester City, Kevin De Bruyne has helped his team win all the domestic trophies: 4 Premier League titles, the FA Cup, 5 League Cups and 2 Community Shields, while he has also won a number of individual awards, including Premier League Player of the Year 2 times and the Playmaker Award 3 times. De Bruyne's transfer was one of the most successful and impactful deals ever, as Kevin has become an irreplaceable part of Manchester City and a fan favorite. His contribution to the citizens' success can't be denied, as the Belgian is now a role model for many younger midfielders, as well as the symbol of Josep Guardiola's Manchester City. What can I say? Over 8 years he has done everything for the club, an absolute legend. I always push him to find that fire. He will be remembered forever as one of the greatest players of this club. This is what Guardiola had to say on the matter. Kevin, to this day, remains the Manchester City playmaker, the integral part of the team's attacking football, as his skills on the ball and decision-making allow his teammates to be more confident while doing their job. All things considered, De Bruyne's signing is a prime example of a player making an impact and inspiring the whole team. The Belgians' talent and professionalism are the reason why Manchester City are now one of the most renowned clubs in Europe, the team whose groundbreaking football millions of fans find mesmerizing. The 2016-17 season, Paul Pogba to Manchester United for €105 million. Now to yet another big return to the Premier League. The Frenchman's move to Manchester United from the Serie A side Juventus in August 2016 was among the biggest events that transfer window had to offer. Paul Pogba, already considered a world-class midfielder, reunited with the Red Devils for a record-breaking fee of €105 million, which made Paul one of the most expensive signings in the history of football. It was Manchester United where Paul's career began, as the Frenchman's spell at United lasted from 2009 to 2012. But his lack of chances in the first team made Pogba leave Manchester and join Juventus, where he unleashed his true potential, won 4 Serie A titles, 2 Coppa Italia trophies and reached the Champions League final in 2015. Pogba's return to United was a massive signing, as everybody expected him to lead his old new club to glory. In reality though, that signing ended up being a total waste, even though Pogba did win the Europa League and the League Cup with Man United. The Frenchman never really got along with the coaches, especially with Jose Mourinho. "You don't play," the Portuguese said. "You don't respect players and supporters, and you kill the mentality of the good, honest people around you." In December 2018, the special one left United, while for Paul Pogba it was the best season for United, 16 goals and 11 assists. After that, however, the Frenchman had to suffer too many injuries, which didn't allow him to gain form and show his qualities. In summer 2022, Paul Pogba finally left Manchester as a free agent, as he once again headed to Juventus after having made 90 goal contributions in 233 appearances for United. The 2017-18 season, Neymar to PSG for €222 million. And now to the biggest transfer of that summer and in the history of football. Neymar leaving Barcelona and joining PSG in August 2017 made all the football world go absolutely crazy. The Brazilian striker, already a world star, joined the Parisians for an astronomical sum of €222 million, thus breaking all the possible transfer records. Before moving to Paris, Neymar had spent 4 seasons at Barcelona, from 2013 to 2017, alongside the likes of Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez, and won all the major trophies, among them 2 La Liga titles, 3 Copa del Rey finals, the Champions League, and many others. Neymar's move to PSG was a hopeful one for their fans, as they expected the newcomer to lead the club to the much-desired Champions League trophy. All in all, it wasn't a bad signing, but the club's biggest goal is still yet to be achieved. Though the Parisians were really close to it back in 2020 when they reached the final, but lost to Bayern 1-0. Since he joined PSG, Neymar has become a key player for the Parisians and made a notable impact both in domestic competitions and in Europe. Since 2017, Neymar has helped his club win 4 Ligue 1 titles, 3 French Cups, and many other domestic trophies. At the same time, though, his PSG spell has always been about controversy and scandals. There's been too many rumors about the Brazilian's lack of motivation, his desire to change club and once again join Barca. But despite all the headlines, Neymar is still one of the most talented and prolific attackers of our time. Throughout his spell in Paris, Neymar has certainly made PSG a bigger club as an attacker and as captain. His unbelievable technique, dribbling, and the ability to create goals and chances out of nowhere is a big threat for any team, be it PSG's Ligue 1 or Champions League opponents. All in all, Neymar's signing was a turning point for all the big clubs. It set brand new standards concerning top players' significance and their market value. Even though Neymar failed to win the Champions League for PSG, he has still become the embodiment of the Parisians' new era as well as the decisive factor for the recent success. Can he push himself even further and lead PSG to great achievements? Only time will tell, but his signing is going to be remembered as an important milestone in the history of football. The 2018-19 season, Kylian Mbappe to PSG for €180 million. The Parisians didn't stop at signing Neymar and only a year later went for another big transfer deal, Kylian Mbappe from Monaco, yet another game-changing signing for the French side. The young Frenchman, only 19 years old at that time, joined the Parisians as a massive prospect and generational talent. First as a loanee, and then he was signed on a permanent basis for about €180 million, which was the second biggest transfer of all time. Before he was signed by PSG, Mbappe had made a name for himself at Monaco with a spectacular 16-17 season as his team won the Ligue 1 and had a most impressive Champions League campaign, while the young Frenchman became the biggest discovery of that season and won a number of individual awards. Mbappe's signing was of no less importance than Neymar's, as it made a perfect addition to PSG's star-packed squad. Before long, Kylian established himself as a key player for his new club with his attacking impact both in Ligue 1 and in Europe. Since Mbappe joined PSG, he has become the club's best ever goalscorer with 211 goals to his name, surpassing Edinson Cavani. During his time at the club, the Frenchman has won 4 Ligue 1 titles, 3 French Cups, and other trophies with the Parisians. What's important is that Kylian never stops improving, as his importance for the club has been rewarded with a captain's armband. His unique physical and technical attributes, as well as his finisher's instinct, make him one of the deadliest strikers football has ever seen, as his qualities have determined him as a key figure for PSG and one of the biggest stars of our time. In 2018, France won the World Cup, while Mbappe scored against Croatia in the final and became the youngest ever Frenchman to score a World Cup goal. His solid performance in Russia secured the Best Young Player award for Mbappe, and 4 years later, in Qatar, Kylian once again was in the spotlight with his hat-trick against Argentina, which unfortunately wasn't enough to win the trophy that time. Mbappe's move to PSG still remains one of the most significant transfers ever, as the young Frenchman keeps proving himself to be a player of the highest quality, both for Paris Saint-Germain and France. And all the records Kylian has set and broken serve as a perfect demonstration of it. Mbappe's signing has already become a prime example of how beneficial for both sides a deal can be. Meanwhile, Florentino Perez, the Real Madrid president, may still try to sign the Frenchman once again after Mbappe has rejected Los Blancos, so we're yet to know if Kylian finally changes clubs this summer. And in case you'd like to know more about current transfer rumors and possible moves, feel free to check out our recent video once you're done with this one. But now, it's time for us to go on. The 2019-20 season, Joao Felix to Atletico Madrid for €127,200,000. Summer 2019 once again demonstrated Benfica's brilliant transfer policy. Their ability to gain astronomical money for their players is nothing short of magic. It was then when Joao Felix left Benfica for Atletico Madrid, this becoming one of the most notable signings of that transfer window. The young Portuguese striker was only 19 at that time, but was already recognized as one of the biggest prospects of his generation. That is why he cost Atletico as much as €127 million, which made him Atleti's biggest ever signing and one of the most expensive signings in general. Before joining Atletico, the Portuguese wonderkid had amazed the football world with his performance for Benfica in the 18-19 season, as he led his team to the league title. His skill set, his confidence, and his number of goal contributions made many big clubs put an eye on Joao, but it was Atletico to sign him in the end. Once Felix joined the club, all eyes were set on him, as Atletico fans craved to see a replacement for Antoine Griezmann, a new world-class attacker. Before long, Felix became a first-choice option for Diego Simeone, but failed to meet the expectations, as he only scored 9 goals in 36 appearances. Next couple of seasons were a bit better, as the Portuguese scored 10 goals in both of them. But as we all know, much more was expected of such an expensive signing. As for now, Felix is playing for Chelsea on loan, while the Atletico board would love to gain as much money as possible from Todd Boehly. But we'll have to wait until the summer transfer window opens to see how this story unfolds. Despite the massive expectations, the Portuguese striker didn't make it at Atletico and now has a new chance to prove his doubters wrong at Chelsea, as his performance this season shows that he's definitely not done yet. The Portuguese still has a chance to evolve into a most elite attacker, but first his team needs to find balance and bring a coach who will help Joao unleash his true potential. Dear friends, please help us gain 5,000 followers on our channel. For this, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Also, don't forget to tap the bell button so as not to miss our new videos. Thank you. The 2020-21 season, Kai Havertz to Chelsea for €80 million. Summer 2020 was a time of transformation for Chelsea, as the Blues were to strengthen many positions. One of their newcomers was Kai Havertz from Bayer Leverkusen, whose move was massive indeed. The German young talent was only 21 years old at that time, but was already praised as one of the most promising footballers of his generation. He cost Chelsea about €80 million, which was a record fee for a German player. Before moving to London, Kai had played 118 Bundesliga games, scored 36 goals and made 25 assists. His technique, football intelligence and powerful shots from both feet made him a transfer target for many big clubs, but it was Chelsea to wrap up the deal. The football world found that move intriguing at the very least, as Havertz was expected to become Chelsea's missing part and push the club to another level. The German's versatility allowed him to adapt quickly to Frank Lampard's football and then to Thomas Tuchel's demands. What matters is that Havertz never stopped improving and contributing to the club's success. In the 2021, it was his impact and his goal in the final, among all things, that led Chelsea to the Champions League trophy. The German's current tally is 47 goal contributions in 138 appearances for Chelsea, but this season has been a disaster both for him and the club. It is possible, though, that the Blues will rise next season should they bring the right head coach to Stamford Bridge. Kai's move to Chelsea nevertheless may be described as success, though it would cause controversy at times. His overall performance, however, proves that Havertz has surely got what it takes to play in the Premier League and ultimately live up to the expectations. The 2021-22 season, Jack Grealish to Manchester City for €117.5 million. And now to the recent transfers, those that are still fresh in our memory. Jack Grealish's move to Manchester City from Aston Villa was one of the biggest deals the Premier League has ever known. The Aston Villa captain had long been considered one of the most talented attackers in the league, and Man City had to break the Premier League transfer record in order to sign him. Before coming to the Etihad, Jack Grealish had already made a name for himself at Villa with his skills on the ball, technique, long shots and creativity. These were the qualities that made him so wanted, and among all the contenders it was Manchester City who made the most lucrative offer, which was not only about money, but also about prospects. Jack's move to City was probably the most memorable event of that transfer window. The fans expected him to become an integral part of the team, while Grealish failed to adapt to Josep Guardiola's complicated approach, so he had to wait until this season to at last make himself really useful for City. Jack's progress never stops, and that is what allowed him to become a key figure for Man City after an unimpressive first season at the club. His current performance shows how big an asset he is to the club after he had to endure so much criticism. It's natural, though, that a high transfer fee often means high expectations, but the 27-year-old Grealish is now approaching his prime, so his City days are far from over. The 2022-23 season, Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea for €121 million. The last one in our list, Enzo Fernandez, changed clubs this January, just before the transfer window closed. The fate of that move was hanging on a thread, but at the very last moment the Blues managed to wrap up the record-breaking deal. The midfielder hadn't spent that much time at Benfica, as he was signed from River Plate for €44,250,000 last summer. His impressive performance in Qatar, which granted him the Best Young Player award, made Todd Bowley make a decision to spare no expense on Enzo. While at Benfica, Enzo Fernandez played 29 games and made 11 goal contributions, but it was his World Cup campaign that introduced him to the wide audience. Fans and pundits alike were extremely excited with Chelsea's winter signings, and Enzo was expected to bring balance, quality and creativity to the Blues midfield. It's too early to tell if he was the right signing for the club, as the whole team has been having a disaster of a season. However, a new head coach is yet to join the team, so that the likes of Fernandez, Havertz and Felix have a chance to review their best qualities and lead the reborn Chelsea side to success next season. What is also worth mentioning is the Argentine's WhoScored rating, as the only Chelsea player who topped it are Reece James, Thiago Silva, Wesley Fofana and N'Golo Kante, who got back from his long-term injury at last. There is still hope that we will soon see Enzo's full area of talents, as the young Argentine still has time to show why he was worth €121 million. Record-breaking transfers have become an integral part of modern football, as they never fail to entertain fans and pundits. They remind us that modern-day football involves both big spendings and strategic planning. Of course, we're yet to see many more of them in the future, and that is why we can't help but look forward to the upcoming transfer window. Dear friends, please let us know in the comments what move you expect to become the biggest one of the upcoming transfer window. Thank you for watching. See you soon.